What has been your thoughts or your philosophy and your advice on how to accomplish, set, and achieve goals?
Man, I love that question. I love that question. Dude, I don't believe in goals.
Okay.
I no longer believe in goals. Crazy, because I know we're told for so long, set a goal, write it down, live by it. True story, y'all. Maybe one of the most depressing moments of my life. After my junior year playing football at the University of Texas, Texas, a top flight college football program at the time, I submitted my name to go to the NFL draft. I wanted to go professionally after 3 years. But I got back from the NFL a report. Emmanuel, you will not be drafted in rounds 1 through 3. You will be drafted in rounds 4 through 7. There are 7 total rounds in the NFL draft for those watching and eventually listening. I'm not going in the 4th through 7th round. I'll come back for my senior year.
Oh, this is a junior year.
Junior year.
Gotcha.
So what I said was this. I took that sheet of paper that said, Emmanuel, you won't be drafted in rounds 1 through 3, and I highlighted that line, you won't be drafted in rounds 1 through 3, and I hung it above my bed, and I put one of those little sticks through the wall and the paper in my bed. I looked at it every morning I woke up and every night before I went to sleep. You know what they say about goals. Look at them, commit them to memory. Well, while at the NFL Combine, I'm running my 40 at the conclusion of my senior year. The NFL Combine, again, for those watching, listening, it is the ultimate job interview if you want to go to the NFL. I'm running a 40-yard dash, which will dictate essentially where I will be drafted.
What round you're in, yeah.
Exactly. As I'm running, I hear this. Boom, 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 boom. I thought my heels were clicking. They weren't. My quad was tearing off the bone.
Ugh.
I clutch at my quad.
Man.
I fall to the ground in sheer agony.
During the 40?
During the 40.
When every scout and coach is watching.
Everyone watching. I still have the
NFL
picture.
TV is filming. It's on
the worst.
ESPN.
Phones blowing up with texts. Are you
my
okay?
gosh.
X, Y, and Z. It's terrible. I clutch to the ground. I'll save you all the rest of that details of that story. I end up getting drafted in the 6th round. I learned a valuable lesson that day. Stop setting goals. Here's why. At best, if you set a goal, you will achieve it. But what if you could have achieved more? At worst, if you set a goal and you don't achieve it, you ruin your self-esteem and your self-efficacy. My self-esteem and my self-efficacy, or your self-worth, how you look at yourself, were ruined that day, were undermined that day. So instead of setting goals now, Lewis, I have an objective with no limitations. Small difference, but that small difference will make a huge impact on your life. A goal, by definition, is an end towards which energy is aimed. An objective is simply directing energy towards something. So why, if I'm going to have a goal, would I focus on the end when I'm at the beginning? Instead, I direct all of my energy towards something. I start my book, Illogical, which you and I are going to get into, Imagine a Life Without Failure. Why? Because when you don't set a goal, you can't fail.
Right.
And so many of us combat failure in our lives. So many of us are trying to figure out, how can I become the best version of myself? But we can't become the best version of ourselves because we're still mourning our former self. We're still mourning our failures from our past. We're still mourning our defeats from our past. We're still mourning our scars from our yesteryears. I'm done mourning my scars. Now it's all about having an objective with no limitations, similar to that quote, if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you land amongst the stars.
So, as opposed to creating a goal then, what are you creating? Are you not creating something? You're creating an objective?
Correct. I'm creating an objective.
So what would it look like then?
Beautiful. People would always ask me when I got into TV, hey, Emmanuel, you want to be like Michael Strahan, right? For those that aren't familiar, Michael Strahan, host Good Morning America, co-host, NFL Hall of Famer. He's that guy.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't want to be like Michael Strahan. Because if I say I want to be like Michael Strahan, I might just be like Michael Strahan. And while that's great for Michael Strahan, he's already taken. So why would I want to be like this man who's already taken? As great and as great and as great as he is, Michael Strahan's already taken. I got to be Emmanuel Acho. So when people ask me, what do you want to be? I just say I want to be considered one of the most creative people the industry has ever seen. My objective is subjective. My objective is subject to people's opinions.
It's like art.
Bingo. It's exactly like art, bro. And let's speak of art.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne, one of my favorite verses, he says, when you mention Pac, Biggie, and Jay-Z, just remember Weezy Baby. Or when you mention Pac, Biggie, and Jay-Z, make sure you mention Weezy Baby. Essentially saying, when you mention the greats of all time, just make sure you mention me too. You're not saying I want to be the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't say the best rapper alive, all that. But his objective was subjective. When you mention Tupac, when you mention Biggie, when you mention Jay-Z, just make sure you mention me too. And where I am now at with my desires in life, I don't have goals anymore, bro. Because if you have a goal, you can fail. And I'm done failing. While people say, yo, Acho, that's crazy, remember, our greatest accomplishments in life are typically crazy.
They're not rational.
They're completely irrational.
Yeah.
They're completely irrational. And a quote that I'm hung up on now, I'm hung up on it. Will Smith said in his latest book, he said, remember, when somebody gives you their advice, it's just that. It's their advice based on their limited life experiences. You and now are a unique combination of which has never occurred before.
That's true.
By which you are the best metric of success. You and now, unique combination, never occurred before. You're the best metric of success. So me in this present moment and this conversation with you, it's never occurred before.
Right.
So how this conversation is going to go is dependent upon you, dependent upon me. Me and writing a book. This new book, it's never occurred before. So why would I be limited by someone else's standards? Sure. It's kind of like what you and I discussed off camera. We can bring it on camera. I know you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Don't let insignificant people have such significance over your life.
Yeah.
And that's often what we do, bro.
Why do you think so many people focus on the insignificance of other people's thoughts and opinions?
Because we all want to be liked, man. And
how have you learned to let go of that
Yes.
feeling of being liked or loved or thought in a positive light when people say things that you don't like?
Well, my favorite quote, maybe for the last decade, top 3 favorite quotes, because I'm a huge quote guy. One of my favorite quotes. And those who were dancing were thought to be crazy by those who didn't hear the music.
Ooh.
Imagine, and we've all been in this situation before, imagine walking on the beach, biking through the city, and you see somebody just dancing. You'd be like, yo, what the heck are they doing? Exactly. But maybe they're not crazy. Maybe they just had headphones in and you couldn't see. Those who were dancing were thought to be crazy by those who didn't hear the music. What I've realized, there's come a point in my time, in my life, where I'm dancing and people think I'm crazy. They just don't hear the music yet. You're dancing. You start, you're 1,200 episodes in now. People think you're crazy. They just didn't hear the music yet. Right. So many people watching this are dancing and people think they're crazy. No, the people that think they're crazy just haven't heard the music yet. So we have to understand we're not crazy. They just haven't heard the music.
Right.
And that is what keeps me going, realizing, yo, I'm not crazy. I'm on my path to greatness. And eventually they will catch up.
Yeah.